Thank you. Thank you for coming. So tonight, it's going to be really interesting. I'm going to talk about your medicine cabinet and the many, many things that are in there that are very, very dangerous to your health and the healthy alternatives. So there's so many things in your medicine cabinet that are making you sick. And so I'm going to start out with toothpaste. And you've heard this, but I think it's really important that this is repeated because so many people don't realize how dangerous your toothpaste is. Toothpaste, most toothpaste, the kinds that you buy at your drugstore, most of them have fluoride. Fluoride is rat poison. You are brushing your teeth with rat poison. That is extremely dangerous. And when you look at a small child that's just learning how to brush their teeth, they're swallowing this stuff. That's scary. So you're doing it at least twice a day, hopefully, brushing your teeth at least twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. And the fluoride that they put into the toothpaste, it's an industrial waste product. So when I used to think about the fluoride and how they did it, I thought it was in some pharmaceutical lab where it's nice and clean, you have quality control standards. That's not the case. This is industrial waste product. They don't bother filtering it and cleaning it. What they do is they take it and they put it into your drinking water. It has all sorts of other toxins and heavy metals in it, and it's put into your drinking water. But it's okay because they add chlorine to the drinking water to, kill any bacteria or anything that's in there. But they put this in your toothpaste. So there's a warning label on your toothpaste. I didn't believe it until I read it. And it says, if you swallow, call poison control. So here you are brushing your teeth a couple times a day, every single day. You are going to swallow some of it. It just happens. So you're supposed to call poison control if you're swallowing the toothpaste. So I'm going to talk to you about a couple things. One thing is oil pulling. Has anybody ever heard of oil pulling? One? Two? Oil pulling is an old ancient Ayurvedic remedy. And what they do is it's with sesame oil. And you take the sesame oil, about a tablespoon of it, first thing in the morning before doing anything. And you take it and you swish it in your mouth for 20 minutes. And what I do is I swish it in my mouth for 20 minutes. I wake up in the morning, put it in my mouth. I go take my shower. I do my hair, dry my hair. And at the end of about 20 minutes, I spit it out. What the oil pulling does is it pulls out toxins, it pulls out bacteria, pulls out viruses, it pulls out all of this in your mouth. And what it also does is it helps to build up the muscles of your jaw, but it also helps promote healthy gums and healthy gum tissue and healthy teeth. And your teeth, they're living tissue. Even though it's hard and it's enamel, it's living tissue. And it helps actually to even whiten the teeth. So couple things, if you do oil pulling, I recommend it for everybody. But if you do oil pulling, the thing that you want to make sure is you spit out the oil. Because the oil is absorbing and pulling out the toxins. You don't want to swallow that. That's something you don't want to swallow. 20 minutes. So oil pulling is fantastic. I'm not going to get all into it, but there is so many things that it's good for, more than just for dental health. So it's a good practice to get into. Now, the next thing for your mouth is different toothpaste. Now, I stumbled across a toothpaste that I absolutely love, and it's called Earth Paste. And what it is, I was at Mother's Market and I picked up the package. There's very, very few ingredients. And the reason why I love this toothpaste over most natural toothpaste is this toothpaste, number one, of course, doesn't have fluoride. But number two, it doesn't have glycerin. And glycerin is something I always look for in a toothpaste. I don't want my toothpaste to have glycerin. It has very few ingredients. It has essential oils, so it has a nice fresh flavor to it. And on the box, it says it's safe enough to eat. So if a small child gets into it and they eat it, it's okay. It's good for you. The other thing is baking soda. Baking soda is wonderful. A lot of people don't like baking soda because it has that salty taste and you don't have that minty fresh flavor after you brush your teeth. But what you'd use with the baking soda is you can use essential oils. And there's many essential oils that promote health of your gums and the healthy gum tissue. Now, bentonite clay is something that is fantastic. This is something that everybody should have in their kitchen and in their medicine cabinet. You can use it for toothpaste. You can also use it as a face mask. What it does is it pulls out toxins. So you can use it on your skin, a face mask, wherever that you need toxins pulled out on your skin. It's fantastic. The other thing about bentonite clay is you can take it internally. And when you take it internally, you just mix it in water and you drink it down. Bentonite clay is very absorbent. And so what it does is it absorbs many times its weight in toxins. And so when it goes through your digestive tract, it takes the toxins out with it. The thing to remember when you do the bentonite clay and you take it internally, you don't want to take it at the same time you take supplements. Because what it's going to do, it's going to take out the minerals and the vitamins and all the good stuff that you've been put in your body. So just take this separately. Take it before bed. You could take it in the morning, but just take it away from any supplements that you might take. And it helps to regulate your digestive tract. Another thing this is really good for is if you have, if you're feeling gassy or feeling indigestion, you can take the bentonite clay. It absorbs the toxins and it helps absorb any yucky stuff that's in there. Okay, now we're going to get to the things in your medicine cabinet that will kill you. So we're going to talk about aspirin, we're going to talk about NSAIDs, we're going to talk about acetaminophen, all of this stuff. And when I say kill you, this stuff is deadly. So we want to be careful. Ibuprofen has been linked to strokes. And strokes will kill you. And if they don't kill you, they'll leave you disabled. I mean, this is some scary, scary stuff that you don't want to have happen to you. And a lot of us, we don't know any better because we're not told. These drugs are advertised every day. I mean, almost every single program you watch, you're going to have an advertisement for a painkiller. And nowhere in the over-the-counter painkillers do they tell you to be careful. They don't tell you about possible liver toxicity. They don't tell you about how it can cause leaky gut. They don't tell you the dangers. Now, it's also linked to hypertension. So you can be taking these drugs because maybe you're a headache person and you don't want to have a headache, so you start taking your ibuprofen or your Aleve. Well, you can end up then ending up with hypertension. And then you go to the doctor's going to give you another drug for your hypertension. And it just escalates. So it's one drug on top of another drug. So they're very, very dangerous. Now, this is a statistic back in 1999. This shows how dangerous the NSAIDs are. So up here we have NSAID toxicity. That kills more people than cervical cancer, kills more people than asthma. So this is something that's deadly, and most people that I talk to just take it for granted that these drugs are safe. These are not safe drugs. Now, what we're hearing nowadays a lot, and you see in the news, is people that they're promoting gun laws. We're hearing the horrible tragedies that happen almost on a daily basis of a massacre, the Sandy Hook school massacre, horrible, tragic things, senseless killings. And everyone's outraged by that. And rightfully so. There's so much pain that's caused by the senseless killings of shootings and gun death. However, if you look at the statistics here, the purple, that's murders by firearms. If you look at the red, that's the amount of people that are killed every year for the use of NSAIDs. I mean, look at this. It's escalating. It's going higher and higher and higher. Gun deaths actually have gone down. But this is not being promoted. People don't know this. And year after year, what do? We keep on taking these NSAIDs. I ran into a friend of mine just last week, and I remarked, I said, "You look great. What is going on?" Well, he almost died a couple years ago. He had lost almost half of his blood, and they couldn't tell why. They didn't know what was going on with him. They took him off of all the painkillers, all the NSAIDs, and by the time they had taken him off of all of those NSAIDs, the bleeding stopped. So they couldn't tell where it came from. Well, they knew it came from the gut. So his gut had healed just by taking off of the medication. And then what did he do? He got on a healthy diet. He lost weight. He started exercising. And he looked great. So NSAIDs almost killed my friend. And it's senseless. It doesn't have to happen. Now, there's three major types of pain that I want to talk to you about. The first one's mechanical. And we all know pretty much mechanical pain. You throw your back out and you have to go get adjusted by the finest chiropractor around. In the world. Yes, Dr. Bergman. And so he fixes the mechanical pain. But there's chemical pain as well. And chemical pain is things that are going on inside of your body. There's so many chemical reactions going on inside of your body. So that's the chemical pain that I'm talking about. And then there's thermal pain. And thermal pain is more things like a sunburn. So there's also headaches. A lot of people get headaches and they feel throbbing headaches. The throbbing headaches a lot of times are because of excess histamine. And what that is if you've eaten something that you're allergic to or you have a sensitivity to. And a lot of times people don't make the connection between what they're eating and a headache. And it might be because too much time has lapsed. It might be just they're not conscious enough to look at what they're eating and when the headache happens. But the best way to deal with this is to eliminate the offending food. I mean, why eat something that's going to be causing you constant headache? Now, if this is something that you suspect is going on with you, come and see me, and we can talk about methods in order to determine what's an offending food for you. Because what's an offending food for you might not be offending food for somebody else. Now, burning pain. A lot of people describe pain that they have, and it's a burning pain. When it's a burning pain, what you need to do is you need to look at what's going on inside your digestive tract. So that's the number one thing. What's going on inside your digestive tract? Because that's where inflammation stems from. If you're not digesting your foods properly, you're going to have issues. Kind of like what happened with me when I was 20. I didn't know what was going on with me. I had severe inflammation. The doctor didn't know. He was running test after test for horrible diseases, for cancer and tuberculosis and lupus and autoimmune diseases. He kept running these tests, not knowing what was going on. And when I went to my chiropractor, digestive enzymes. He adjusted me and said, take digestive enzymes. He's helped people with Crohn's disease and all sorts of issues with digestive enzymes and a couple of adjustments. So, number one thing, when you're feeling some type of a burning type pain, think inflammation. Think your colon. Think digestive issues. And your digestive tract, I mean, that encompasses so much. It's responsible for your moods. About 80% of the serotonin is in your gut, so it's responsible for moods, and it's responsible for how you feel. Now, 50 to 70% of your body's immune system is in your gut-associated lymphoid tissue. Basically, the lymph tissue surrounding your gut. That's where 50 to 70% of your immune system is. So NSAIDs and those types of drugs will cause gut permeability, which means leaky gut. And why should you care about leaky gut? Well, it's going to lead to food intolerances. And not just one food intolerance. It's going to keep on. Your gut's going to keep leaking out these large molecules of food that don't belong in the bloodstream. Your bloodstream is going to say, or your immune system is going to be triggered, say, we don't know what this stuff is. You're going to develop an intolerance to that food. If that goes uncorrected, the end result is autoimmune diseases. We don't want that, and it's a vicious cycle. So we need to really pay attention to the gut and really, really take care of your gut. Now, we need to step away from the NSAIDs. Any type of over-the-counter type of medication, even prescription ones, we need to really think that choice over again. However, so many of us are so accustomed to having the pain and we don't want it anymore. And so we just reach for the medication. And there's a paradox with these drugs. They work. They cut down on the pain. You don't feel the pain anymore. So has anybody taken these over-the-counter drugs and felt relief? Anybody? Most people? What that is, it's a fatty balance, or a fatty acid imbalance. So the paradox with the NSAIDs, though, is that they work. They stop the pain. But at the same time, they stop all the chemical reactions that need to happen to heal. So it slows down the healing time. So you're taking it because you want to heal from something. It's stopping the pain. It's also stopping the healing. So in the long run, you're damaging your body even more. So what we need to talk about is fatty acids and prostaglandins. Now, prostaglandins, there's three main families. I'm going to kind of really simplify it because it's so complicated with all the chemicals and how things break down. But there's 3 main families, the prostaglandin 1, 2, and 3. And prostaglandins 1 and 3 are beneficial for you, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And the prostaglandin 2, those raise the inflammation. But prostaglandins are important. They're important for so many functions of your body, for your lungs, for childbirth, for contractions, for your brain. So they're critical. But it's directly related to your food. So your food choices are going to determine how you feel down the road. So it's critical that you understand what's going on so that you can make the right food choices so that you can take care of any type of pain that you might have. So I'm going to explain a couple things. So the prostaglandin 2, what it does is increases inflammation, which means increased pain, which is something that we don't want. It increases blood pressure. It increases cholesterol, increases blood clotting. Basically, it's thickening up the blood, and it decreases the natural killer cell activity. So the prostaglandin 2 is something that we don't want. This one's bad. Now, don't get overwhelmed by the chart. I'm going to walk you through this. There's good fats, and the good fats, what they do is they produce the prostaglandin 1 and the prostaglandin 3. We've got the omega-6s here and the omega-3s over here. When the omega-3s break down, they break down into the prostaglandin 3. That's a good. It's anti-inflammatory. The prostaglandin, or the omega-6s, break down into the prostaglandin 1, but also can cross over and convert over to the prostaglandin 2. This line up here, if you eat trans fats, this is why it's essential to not eat trans fats. What it does is it cuts off the top line, the delta 6, cuts off any chemical reaction down below, so you never get the prostaglandin 3, you never get the prostaglandin 1. All you get is the prostaglandin 2. So when you're eating trans fats, anything with trans fats, you are killing yourself. Trans fats meets the definition of poison. That's how critical it is to go through your cabinet in your kitchen, throw out any packaged food that has any trans fats in it. It is pure poison. Another thing that I didn't put up on here, but if you take sesame seed oil, which again is the oil that you can use when you do your oil pulling, it blocks this here. It blocks the conversion to the prostaglandin 2. So I know that's a lot of science, but I wanted to throw it out there because I want you to understand why it's so important to watch what you put in your mouth, watch your diet. So trans fats, what do? They cause pain, they cause inflammation, they cause disease, and they cause death. And these are so bad that people are trying to pass legislation outlawing them. And you see it on packages now, no trans fats. So make sure, no matter what, that you don't eat trans fats. It's pure, pure poison. Now, I want to talk again about the prostaglandin 2. The prostaglandin 2 is the one that you don't want. That's the one that creates the inflammation. And how do we get the prostaglandin 2s? It's by having a high-fat diet, but the bad kind of fat. If you're having a lot of hamburgers, if you're having the oils, those processed oils, the processed oils are bad for a number of reasons. One is because of the prostaglandins, but the other, it's just poison. They bleach the oils, they strip the oils. There's no nutritional value in a vegetable oil. When you go to the supermarket and you see vegetable oil, have you ever seen or touched a bottle of your oil from the cabinet and it had oil dripped on it and it's all sticky and kind of gross? That's what happens inside your body. So you don't want that one. You don't want that inside your body. Oh, since I'm talking to you guys about oil, I do have to tell you about olive oil. Olive oil is a very, very highly unregulated industry. And so when you get olive oil, you want to make sure you get the good olive oil. You want to pay the price for the good olive oil. Because a lot of olive oils are cut with cheap oils. They're cut with canola oil. They're cut with other vegetable oils. So one way to find out, and this isn't like a surefire way to find out, but it's one way to find out if you've got olive oil. When you put it in the refrigerator, if it gets solid, that's olive oil. I bought some olive oil in the container. The package said pure olive oil. I looked at the label. It said olive oil. I put it in the refrigerator, and it never solidified. So I knew it was not olive oil. And if it's not good olive oil, it's not fit for human consumption. So what you want to do is find a good source that you can trust. And one good way is if you go to farmers markets, talk to the person there that sells it. They usually have somebody there that sells olive oil, but talk to that person and ask them about how they manufacture it and how they make it, and get a good source of olive oil that you can trust.
How about cod liver oil?
Cod liver oil is something that is a completely different family, but it's a fish oil. You want to make sure that the fish oil is clean. You want to make sure that it's something that, from a brand that you can trust. So cod liver oil is fine. I know a lot of people don't recommend it just because they know that it's hard to find the clean fish, and so they want to go for krill or a smaller fish because there's less toxins in the smaller fish. But you just need to do your research on that if you're going to have the cod liver oil. Now here's a chart here that shows deficiencies of or conditions that you can get if you have deficiencies in the omega-3s. Now again, going back to the few slides before, if you're eating trans fats, you're not going to be getting the omega-3s that you need. You're not going to be getting the prostaglandin 3s that you need. So make sure you cut out the trans fats and that we have enough of the omega-3s. Now, when I showed you that chart, the prostaglandin 2, that's the one that is inflammatory. That's the one that will cause pain to increase. And it's the prostaglandin 1 and 3, those two are going to help to bring down inflammation. So those two are going to decrease the pain. So that's why it's so essential when you're looking at fats. You want good quality fat, and they're essential fatty acids, good quality, a brand that you can trust, and you want to make sure that you have enough to keep yourself healthy. So the solution, as I said, if you're finding that you're getting relief by taking a Tylenol or acetaminophen or any type of NSAIDs, it's an indication of a fat imbalance. There's a number of different fatty acids that you can have, and on your handout you'll see that there's a whole list of different essential fatty acids. It's good to have a blend so that your body can utilize what it needs, but it's important to get a good essential fatty acids. Now, The next thing in your medicine cabinet I want to talk to you about, a lot of people get cold sores or herpes type viruses. What those are, those is excess histamine. And if you have excess histamine, it's really critical that you can take, oh, that slide didn't show up very well, that you take enzymes. The enzyme formulation brand that I carry, it's very high in amylase, and this one was actually designed specifically for those types of viruses, herpes and herpes type viruses. So anything like that, you want to make sure that you take this, and it can keep the cold sores, and it can keep that at bay so that you won't have those outbreaks. Okay, acid reflux. This is another one that is so common. We can get these, anybody can walk into a drugstore and anybody can get Rolaids and Tums. These are horrible. They upset your entire digestive tract. This is another drug that should be outlawed. And over here, I don't know how many of you have heard this. I've heard over the years, oh, I get enough calcium because I take my Tums. I mean, this is ridiculous. Taking Tums to get calcium, first of all, it's an antacid, so it disrupts your entire digestive tract. Second of all, it's a chalk. It's a type of calcium that your body can't even absorb. Your body can't even recognize it. So it's ridiculous. So let's look at what happens when you take your antacids. Normal stomach is supposed to be extremely acidic. And the reason why is that's where your protein's digested, in your stomach. It needs to be acidic so it can break down all the amino acid bonds so that your body can utilize the nutrients. Once you start taking antacids, there's big trouble. Your stomach isn't acid anymore. People think that having heartburn and having these conditions is an acid problem, and it's not an acid problem. So if your stomach is depleted and you don't have acid in your stomach that you need, then what happens? You can't break down all the nutrients. You can't utilize the calcium that you need. You can't utilize anything. You're going to get muscle weakness. You're going to get hair loss. There's all sorts of issues that you're going to get if you start taking the antacids. You're going to have candida. Candida is a nasty one to get rid of. You're going to end up with heart failure and ulcers and stomach cancer. I mean, there's all sorts of things. God designed the system a certain way to work the way He designed it. And when we start messing with it and start doing things like taking antacids, it messes everything up down the line. Now, studies have shown if you're going to be taking antacids, you're going to have an increased risk of osteoporosis. You're not going to get the minerals that you need into your bones. So antacids are horrible. They wreak havoc on your whole system. So this is what I love. Western medicine solution. What you can do is you can raise your bed up so that you don't lay down, so that you don't have the acid reflux. A couple of good things. Stop smoking, reduce your weight. But if these lifestyle modifications don't work, then go to the over-the-counter. And then, okay, well, that hasn't worked. You're still having your acid reflux. Then let's go to the pharmacy and let's get a prescription. Let's take some antacids that they prescribe. Stage 5, the last stage, surgery. This is crazy. We can fix this. The body knows how to heal. The body has innate wisdom. What we have is the entire digestive tract. Every part of the digestive tract is supposed to have a certain pH. And your stomach, as I said, it's supposed to be extremely acidic. The acid level in your stomach can burn a hole through the carpet here, can burn a hole through metal. It's extremely acidic. But your body is designed to handle that. So when we start messing with the body and start throwing in chemicals to neutralize the acid, everything's going to be thrown off. You're going to have major issues. You're going to have depression issues. You're going to have physical issues. You're going to have inflammation. What's the solution? Enzymes. Digestive enzymes are the solution. Take your enzymes when you eat. The enzymes help to break down the food. That's the solution. And then the enzyme formulations brand, what they have is enzymes that have herbs in them that are going to help to heal the entire digestive tract. So if there is inflammation because you've had heartburn, you've had that pain, there's also herbs in there that are going to help heal that. So it's really important to pay attention to what's going on in your digestive tract. Now, what I offer is a nutritional analysis, and we can figure out what's the best plan for you. What does your specific body need? There's a signs and symptoms survey, which helps me assess the enzymes that you need. There's a NutriQ survey, and there's the Zytoscan. And the Zytoscan is something that it's like your body and the computer speak to each other, and it assesses nutritional gaps, what your body needs, not what is the latest, greatest vitamin pill that you need. This says what your body needs, and you can get what your body needs so your body has the tools to help heal. So there's the other thing I want to talk to you about is buying the professional grade supplements is really important. When you find out, for example, you want to get essential fatty acids, so you want to go and get a fish oil. You go to Costco and you buy a big jar of fish oil, for example, of capsules. First of all, when you go to a drugstore or Costco, Trader Joe's, any of these type of stores, they market those supplements for the masses. They don't market these supplements to make sure that they work. And that's the difference between a professional grade supplement and a supermarket brand supplement. So that's one thing. The other thing is sometimes you'll see advertised on a fish oil where they say, take our fish oil because when you do, you never taste it afterwards. You never burp it up. Well, that's because you're not getting any benefit from it. The capsule is coated so it doesn't break open until way down in your digestive tract, way past the area where your body absorbs fats. So you're wasting your money. You think you're saving money by buying this supplement at the supermarket, and you're actually wasting your money, and it's not good for you because it's not high quality, and you don't know if it's fresh. So it's really important to buy, especially when you're talking about essential fatty acids, actually any type of nutrient, but it's really essential to buy a professional grade. So I supply the Biotics brand, and if you call the number, you can order the Biotics directly from them, so you know it's fresh. All of my clients, what I do is I give them a 10% discount. So if you tell them that you're ordering and you're ordering, tell them my name, they'll give you a 10% discount. And you'll usually get the order the next day. So there's other tools that I have to help you to determine what your specific body needs. There's the clinical nutrition, which is the Biotics and the Zytoscan. Those are things that are really important to figure out so that you can get your body on this path to healing and optimal health. And then I also offer the scan on the quantum level, and this is the NES scan, and this looks at what your body's needs are on the quantum subcellular level. And this one is fascinating. I've been seeing amazing results on using this scan.